Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurudeva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Shri Mahaganapate Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samaram Shankaracharya
Swadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parambaram
Gurubhyo Namaha Smriti Pudhananam
Alayam Karuna
Namo
Namavi Bhagavad Padam Lokasangaram
Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantam Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyoma Vatvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurti
Muktaye Namaha
Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahavidyam Karavamahai Tejasvi Namadhitama Vidvijavahai Om Shanti Shanti
Hari Om Sri Guru Namaha Hari Om.
Namaste to all of you once again.
Thank you, sir, for admitting me from today.
Sorry?
You admitted me from today.
Yes. Who is that? Mr.
Narasimhan.
Yes. I have admitted.
Yes.
Thanks for coming. But I have admitted one more person, one Mr. Sanjay Suri from UK. I hope he is also joined. But there are some people who are not there, who are absent. See, one of the important things which I need to convey again, even though I had sent the email to everybody. See, this is a formal teaching of the scriptures. So we must have a very high degree of dedication to this learning. It's not like some, watching something, some TV program that if we feel like watching, we will watch someday, other days we will skip and all that. So if we do not respect the scriptures will not respect us. It will not come to us at all. This much guarantee I can give you. So we must have a very reverential attitude that we are learning the scriptures, and this knowledge of Vedanta is the highest knowledge anybody can get in his life. It is beyond all materialistic knowledge that we have got. It is also beyond the knowledge of Karma Kanda, the Veda Purva Bhaga knowledge. So when we are come to the end of, we are getting the knowledge what is there in the end of the Vedas, our approach should be very, very dedicated, and we must be seriously interested. Because nobody is compelling us to join these classes and these talks. We have done it on our own accord. It's okay. Initially, 2-3 lectures, 2-3 talks you listen, and you don't find it interesting. You can then drop out. But for that also, please let me know that we are not interested in continuing. I will remove you from the group rather. Because I don't want anybody in the group who is a very casual student. I can understand you can be casual students for Vishnu Sahasranamam. I have no problem with that. But Tattva Bodha, I am very particular because I am teaching something which has been given to me by my gurus and it has come in the Guru Parampara. So that respect and the reverence, if we don't have, we must be clear. And occasionally, if somebody is not able to attend, which is understandable, there are many circumstances will be there. Just send me a WhatsApp message before that today I am not able to attend for some reason. You don't need to even tell me the reason. Then I will understand that you are actually interested in attending, but today for some reason you are not. So these few things, I just wanted to point out so that, when we are in the class, we pay full attention to what is being taught, because as I told you, this knowledge is not very easily available to everybody, and everybody will not have an interest in getting this knowledge also. Okay. So with that few remarks, I thought that I will reiterate, even though all these points I had made in the email and in details of the program, but still I thought I will reiterate these points. The most important takeaway is, if you are not able to attend the class, please send me a message that I am not able to attend. As of now, I have not started any attendance marking system like I have in Sanskrit class and all. In the hope or in the belief that everybody has joined this of their own accord. They have actually, enrolled themselves to learn this, and this is going to be easily 6 months. Weekly classes if they go for 6 months or even little bit beyond. So those 6 months, every Saturday evening, 1 hour time, you are committing. So that is the understanding with which we have all joined together. So let us respect that understanding. Okay. Now let's come to the subject. So we are in the process of understanding about the Varna and Ashrama Vyavasthas, which is there enshrined in our Vedas, right? And these were the systems which were prevailing at one point in time. Today, they have all become more or less, I would say, unrecognizable. And also, they have actually changed their character, and in fact, they have become more mischievous systems rather. But the original scheme, which was envisaged, is what we are discussing. So, as I told you, these are Varna Vyavastha, Ashrama Vyavastha, two infrastructures which are provided in the scriptures. The Varna Vyavastha is an infrastructure provided in the scriptures for the peaceful coexistence of everybody and for everybody to contribute their might, as you call it, or according to their capability, so that the society as a whole progresses. This is the Varna Vyavastha. Ashrama Vyavastha, which we will discuss later, is the infrastructure provided for an individual growth. How one should grow in one's life, how starting right from the childhood up to old age, different stages of life, how one should deal with each stage of life, his responsibilities, what he is supposed to do. So these are the two infrastructures which were provided in the scriptures, right? And in the last class, we saw some details of the Varna Vyavastha. And under the Varna Vyavastha, we also saw that the society was divided into 4 classes, 4 groups. And the basis of this classification, we saw there are 3 bases. One is guna, or the attributes or the character of a person. The second attribute was karma, the vocation or the occupation which a person chooses to take up. And the third one, which is a janma based, birth based, which is what we call a jati based classification. So these 3 classifications the society is divided into. And in the guna based, we also saw that there were 3 gunas which the Shastras talk about: Sattva guna, Rajo guna, and Tamo guna. So the 4 varnas which the Shastra talks about is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. These 4 groups are there, and these 3 gunas, based upon these 3 gunas, these 4 classification has been made. So I also told you that Sattva guna is directly, correlated to Brahmana Varna. So those people who have got the Sattva guna, and I also explained to you what are all the characteristics of Sattva guna, like withdrawal from all mundane activities, persons who love to be alone, silence, contemplative nature, they like to meditate, they like to, there is a yearning to know lot about scriptures and all that. So those details we saw. That is Brahmana guna. Then the Rajo guna was divided into 2. One was Shuddha Rajas, which was the Kshatriya Varna, and Ashuddha Rajas, which was the Vaishya Varna. And Shudras, we said, are predominantly Tamo guna. And I also clarified that everybody has got all the 3 gunas. It is not possible for anybody to not to have any one of the gunas, because all three are required. But what is emphasized here is the predominance of the guna. So Brahmins or Brahmanas are those who have predominance of Sattva guna. And similarly, Shudras are those who have predominance of Tamo guna. And Kshatriyas have predominance of Shuddha Rajas. And Vaishyas have predominance of Ashuddha Rajas. So this is how the guna vibhaga we have seen. Right? So now, even though we should not judge anybody, including ourselves, but to our own this thing, we can say, what is my personality? What is my main predominant guna? And then you can say, or you can decide for yourself whether you are guna Brahmana, or guna Kshatriya, or guna Vaishya, or guna Shudra. This is only for our own consumption. Don't go around telling everybody, oh, I am a guna Brahmana, you know. Nobody will believe us if they don't know about what is guna Brahmana. Anyhow, so these are the norms which are based on the guna or character or attributes of a person. Right. Now we come to the next type of classification, karma vibhaga. Karma, as I told you, means a vocation or a occupation that one has. Right. And this is very important because that represents the contribution one makes to the society based upon the choice of his vocation. Right. And all the possible vocations in the society are broadly classified into 4 groups again, right? Even though they are not very watertight divisions, some kind level of overlapping could be there. But in generally, for our convenience and understanding, they are divided into 4 classes, four types of occupation. And mind you, each type of occupation is very important for the growth of the society. Right. And that is why, and also this kind of classification, that promotes a harmony in the society. Because today, if the society is having a lot of disharmony, is mainly because of competition. Because there is nothing stopping people from, taking up any occupation. Irrespective of whether they are qualified, they have got the requisite qualities for that occupation or not, right? In fact, most of us have all become actually karma vaishyas. What all we do, most of us, we are just irrespective of what our character is or our nature is. We are all in making money and for ourselves, for our families and all that. That is why, we have this Monday blues and all that. Because the work that we do, which is giving us a lot of money, is not the kind of work which suits our nature, probably. So we don't like to go to office or we don't like to go to whatever or do whatever we are doing, but we are forced to do it because our main aim in life has become only artha, money making, nothing else. Only goal we are all pursuing. So because of that, all these individual problems, psychological problems, society problems, disharmony in the society, unfair competition, cutthroat competition, all these things, evils in the society have come because of not following systematic approach to the occupation that we choose. Okay, so the most important, or one can say that it's a very much necessary for a society is an occupation, which is the scriptural studies. Because as I told you, scriptures give the entire roadmap of how a person, an individual should conduct his life. Right from the time of his birth till his body falls away, how he should conduct his life, the entire roadmap, including, how to go about it. Not only what to do, but how to do also, everything the scriptures say. And for the person to achieve all his goals in life, the 4 purusharthas which we saw in the first class. So all the goals in life, the scriptures provide the roadmap, infrastructure, everything is provided in the scriptures. But then somebody should be there to study the scriptures and then tell this to the people how they should conduct themselves. Isn't it? It's a very, very important role that one group of people in the society have to play. So the first group, which is called a Brahmana Karma in this classification, that first group of people, for them, the occupation is studying the scriptures completely. Studying the scriptures, interpreting the scriptures, advising the people regarding what is contained in the scriptures. In fact, we can call them scriptural consultants. You can put a board, scriptural consultants. So you go to them and they will tell you all your doubts relating to your life, Laukika life, their mundane life, everything is covered in the scriptures. How you have to go about it. These people are required in the society. And the Shastras felt that this is a very important group because what happens is this is all dharma based. And as we were, I think we didn't discuss here in this class, dharma is a very, very complicated concept. Where there are general, that what called samanya dharmas and vishesha dharmas. Then dharmas have to be understood in the context of the period in which those dharmas are applicable. Then dharmas are also to be interpreted or understood in the context of a person's status in his society. What is his position in the society? For example, a dharma of a father, dharma means duties, you can take it, of a father will be different from the dharma of a son. A dharma of a wife will be different from the dharma of a husband. All these things are defined. What is a husband's dharma, wife's dharma, what is Raja dharma, what is Kula dharma, what is Praja dharma, all these things are defined. But we don't know that. So there has to be somebody who has studied all these things and then tries to explain all these things to us. Another example is something which was applicable in a previous yuga, a particular duty which was given to certain set of people. It may not be relevant for this Kali Yuga. So that we should understand. Many times we can make these mistakes, totally. We try to compare certain things. Oh, that Rama did that, so we should also do it. Rama did it in different contexts. It is not possible for us to do all those things which Rama did in this, in this Kali Yuga. Or why did Rama didn't do it at that time? It might not have been possible that time, but it may be possible now to do it. So there are so many what we call, sukshmam, which is very subtle aspects of this dharma. All this needs to be studied and then interpreted in the proper way to the people, keeping the current age, the type of people in mind, including the person who is listening, his maturity level in mind. You cannot explain certain things the way to children, the way we can explain it to a mature adult, isn't it? So we have to have a group of people who are dedicated to this. They dedicate their whole life to studying the dharmas, studying the shastras, the scriptures. And as we have seen in one of the previous classes, our scriptures are vast. So much is there, to study and to learn. In fact, practically impossible for anybody to do it in one lifetime. It's a continuous learning only. So you have to learn all that. And then in the olden days, there was no writing, no books were there. It was all to be memorized. And they were all in Sanskrit. So you must have a good knowledge of Sanskrit also. Just imagine the degree of difficulty which is involved in this. So the Shastra said there needs to be a group of people dedicated to this. And they were called Karma Brahmanas. So the Brahmanas means, first we saw a Guna Brahmana. Now we are seeing Karma Brahmana. So a person who has chosen or taken up the occupation of studying the scriptures and then interpreting the scriptures, which is applicable to the current age. I mean, I'll give you another example of this interpretation. Today, our people are settled all over the world. For example, what is applicable in a place like India, whether the same thing in the same way or in the same form will be applicable in a place in the US or somewhere else or Middle East or something. Somebody has to interpret and tell, because scriptures don't talk about all these things in so many details. So somebody who has got the overall vision of the scriptures, what is the Tattva, what is the purpose for the scriptures to say all these things, one needs to take all that into account while interpreting and advising people. So this is the Guna Brahmana, is the first occupation in the Karma Vibhaga, the Karma classification, right? So they have to be specialized people in this particular area. Then the other second one is what we call Karma Kshatriya. In fact, this Guna Brahmana, this Karma Brahmana is a vanishing tribe. Nobody, very hardly few people go for scriptural studies and all that. Olden times, there were, these people were really highly respected in the society. Kings used to have them as their ministers to advise how the governance should be done in the country, because they were all committed to dharmic governance. So these advisors were very, very important ministers, and they used to tell, advise the king how, according to the scriptures, they should govern the country for the benefit of everybody, all the praja, all the people. So this is the importance of the Karma Brahmana. So Karma Kshatriya is still a very, very relevant occupation even today. Even though some of them have become, a little bit, I would say, corrupted or, changed its original intention. But these Karma Kshatriyas are those who have to selflessly serve the country, serve the people. They are, in today's parlance, we can say they are the MLAs, MPs and all that. They are all supposed to do that. The public service is what they are supposed to do. Whether they are actually doing it or not is a different question. That is not the subject matter of our discussion. Similarly, police, army, all these occupations all come under Karma Kshatriya. And these people are very much required, isn't it? If we have to sleep peacefully at night, all these people are required. Even though some of them today may be the cause for our sleeplessness. Anyhow, so for governing the society, maintenance of law and order, policing the society, defending the country, army is required, isn't it? All these kind of activities will come under the Karma Kshatriya category. And their role is to ensure a peaceful coexistence, peace and harmony in the society, so that everybody, every individual can pursue his goals successfully, his goals of life, and be protected from all kinds of, this chain snatching, theft, robbery, LAC problem, LOC problem, all these things, he is kept safe and protected from all those things. These are the Karma Kshatriyas. Then the third category we come to is the, again, very, very popular now, very, very, in fact, very growing, in fact, is the Karma Vaishya activities, all commercial activities, business, trade, all these come under Karma Vaishya and directly connected to GDP of the country and all that kind of thing. We can have a separate discussion on. economy of the country, progress of the economic progress of the country, the financial stability of the country, all these things, a certain group of people are required to manage that. So they are called the karma vaishyas. And their main this thing, including all chartered accountants, everybody will all come under karma vaishyas because they are all contributing in that particular manner to the economy, business people, all those who provide employment, all those karma vaishyas. Then the fourth category is the karma shudras. Right? What do they do? See, shudras by their nature, we have seen earlier, they are not capable of thinking too much. They are more or less lazy people, lethargic people. That's their nature. So these karma shudras are given those kind of activities to serve the other three groups. But it is not something which is very low level or something, because that is very much required in the society. You cannot have the what we can call a karma kshatriya establishment without some people having karma shudra occupations. You cannot have that. In every occupation, this is required. And the shudras, by nature, they are all that kind. I mean, you can drive them and they will do whatever you ask them to do. They will not apply their mind. So those occupations, those semi-skilled and unskilled jobs, which we see in the society, which are very, very important for everything, those category of people were karma shudras. So this is how the four classification from the karma point of view was made. Okay. So based upon my profession, I can either be a karma brahmana or a karma vaishya or karma kshatriya or karma vaishya or karma shudra. I can be any one of them. And based on my character, my nature, I can be a guna brahmana, guna kshatriya, guna vaishya and a guna shudra. Isn't it? So these combinations, just imagine, all are possible. Right? So this is the basically the first two components of the Varna Vyavastha. Now there is a third one I talked about, which is based upon birth, classification based upon birth. And birth in Sanskrit is called Janma. And the Janma classification is what we call the Jati, because the word Jati is derived from the word Janma. So Jati based classification means birth based classification, which is the third kind of classification, which, mind you, was not originally envisaged in our scriptures at all. This classification at some stage, because people found that they cannot stick to those scriptural classification, they came up with this classification of jati based classification, this jatis. And that is what is the main problem which we are facing today as a caste system. So we must understand, caste system is not a system which is there in the scriptures. Caste system is a man-made system. Scriptural systems are divine systems made by God, which is guna and karma based. Jati based system, this birth based system is man-made. Somewhere somebody has done a mischief to introduce this. And today the whole society is suffering because of it. What we call the caste system. And also the politicians are making hay with this system. An entire democracy of a country is being run based upon this caste. And we are seeing the negative effects of all these things which are happening. So if anybody tells you that this caste system is a product of the scriptures, please tell them to go and study the scriptures. Because if you are going to explain to them, they are not going to understand. They will understand only if they have the intellectual capability to study the scriptures and understand what it is. So we must be very clear in this, that this caste system should not be attached to our scriptures. This is a mischief done by some people at some stage. We don't even know when it started. But somewhere it has started, because, and according to me, it has started only in this Kali Yuga, because till the Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, this Guna and Karma divisions only were prevailing. It's only now in the Kali Yuga, in the last 5,000, 6,000 years, this problem has come of this caste system. Okay. So this we must very, very clearly understand, right? So this Jati Brahmana, Jati Kshatriya, Jati Vaishya, all these things are all man-made. Okay. And as I told you in the scriptures, Jati Brahmana was not considered a Brahmana at all. Unless you have got one of the two things. You have by Guna you are a Brahmana, then you will be accepted as a Brahmana. Or by Karma you are a Brahmana, you will be accepted as a Brahmana. If both Guna and Karma you don't have any Brahmanatvam, you will not be accepted as Brahmana. But today that is the tragedy. Just because a person is born in a Brahmin family, because his lineage is a Brahmin lineage. His father is a Brahmin, so he is a Brahmin. He does not have any qualities of a Guna Brahmana. He does not have, occupation is not a Karma Brahmana. He calls himself a Brahmana and goes around. This is the problem that we are facing, isn't it? So, this word Brahmana itself, we must understand. Brahmana means the one who is actually following the Brahma. Brahma means the Vedas. Because Brahmaji gave the Vedas, Brahmaji received the Vedas from Ishvara and gave the Vedas to the world. So the Vedas are also called Brahma. And when we say Brahmopatesham and all that, the thread ceremony we conduct, that means what? It is the Upadesha of the Vedas that is being done. The Gayatri mantra, the most important mantra of the Vedas, is first given Upadesha to the boy. And then he is supposed to go to the Gurukulam and study the Vedas. That is what, Brahmachari, that's a Brahmachari, we say. So that Brahma also is Veda. Brahmana, Brahmachari, all these are all connected to the Vedas. Right? So, from the point of view of this Brahmopadesha, all threes, the Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya, these three jatis, I'm talking about jatis now, all these three, they were considered equal. And this thread ceremony or Brahmopadesham or Upanayanam as we call, was performed for all these three people, set of people, three groups of people. And why we are saying this jati is not a part of the Vedas, that it is man-made, is there is a evidence of it in Bhagavad Gita. In the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, Chatur Varnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashah. He says, this Chatur Varnyam means 4 Varnas. Maya Srishtam, I am the person who has created this. I means he is talking himself as Ishvara, the God. And he says, Guna Karma Vibhagashah, on the basis of Guna and Karma, divisions. He doesn't say Jati Vibhagashah. So this is the proof we have got that this Jati-based qualification is a later entrant into this, this society, which was not originally envisaged in the Vedas. Okay. So this much we must understand about this grouping, and this jati grouping, very important to understand that this caste system which we all curse, but we don't do away with, is a product of this, conversion of this mischief played by some people, right? So now, what we can say, a person can be a jati brahmana, then he can be a karma kshatriya, being in a police force or anything. Then he can be a guna vaishya, earning lot of money for himself and his family, isn't it? This is the problem now. There is the correlation between the guna, occupation, everything has gone for a toss. And that is why all the problems that we face in our life. One of the reasons, and not the only reason, one of the reasons why we face all these problems in our life, right? So, this I have given you a broad listing. Now, I would like to discuss a little bit about the gradation. Gradation is called taratamya. Whether one guna or one occupation is superior to another. We'll just see a little bit about that. Okay. On the basis of whether superiority, inferiority. As far as the jati vibhaga is concerned, that is the based upon birth, all four, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, are equal. Because the Shastra says everybody is born a Shudra only. So the starting point for everybody, all children born, whether male or female, is Shudratvam only. Lethargy. That's why we see children always sleeping. They don't move around. In fact, first few months, so they can't even turn around. They will be just lying down as you put them. Do everything in the bed itself. Isn't it? So, from a point of view of birth, everybody is equal. So nobody can claim that I am superior by birth. But then what happens is, as you grow, depending upon what characteristics, what nature or what attributes you want to, what gunas you want to acquire, then the divisions start. That you are a guna brahmana, you are a karma brahmana, like that. But by birth, everybody is equal, right? So a jati brahmana cannot, if he is not a guna or karma brahmana, cannot claim that you respect me. I am a brahmana. Nothing. You are just, when you are born, you are also Shudra like everybody else. Just because you have done this Brahmopadesham, you know nothing about Gayatri Mantra, you have never done Sandhya Vandanam in your life. After the first 2 or 3 days after Brahmopadesham, you call yourself Brahmana. You neither have a guna of a Brahmana nor karma of a Brahmana. Then how you can call yourself a Brahmana? Just because you are born to a father who was a Brahmin, who also called himself a Brahmin without doing all these things. Isn't it? So the problem continues. Okay. So from a birth point of view, there is no gradation. Clear. Then what about karma vibhaga, profession? Shastra says from profession point of view also there is no gradation. All professions are equally important for the society. Everybody makes a very valuable contribution for the society. So there is no gradation of superiority, inferiority from a professional point of view. So all karma vibhaga also equally graded. So this is the second aspect of gradation. Jati we are seeing, karma we are seeing, right? Because different organs of the society have different functions, and all those are required for a society to flourish, isn't it? So this is the karma vibhaga. Same, no superiority, no inferiority. Then when it comes to guna vibhaga, character, the Shastra says a guna brahmana is superior to a guna kshatriya. A guna Kshatriya is superior to a guna Vaishya, and a guna Vaishya is superior to a guna Shudra. Mind you, we are talking about guna, the nature, the characteristics. Which means what? Sattva guna pradhana people are superior to Shuddha Rajas pradhana people. Shuddha Rajas pradhana people are superior to Ashuddha Rajas pradhana people. And Ashuddha Rajas pradhana people are superior to Tamo Guna pradhana. This is what is the Shastras say. So this superiority is there only in respect of the Guna Vibhaga, not in terms of Karma Vibhaga or Jati Vibhaga. Okay. So what it means, whoever is higher in character, noble people, we do namaskara to them, isn't it? So in life, the idea should be, or our goal we should pursue in life is, while we are born, we start as Jati, Shudras. Our goal should be to progress towards Rajoguna, because that is very important for us to do a lot of activities. Rajoguna is what impels us to do activities, earn money, everything. It should be done in a dharmic way, of course, not adharmic way. And then we must progress towards developing Sattva Guna. It's the most exalted quality a person, individual has. And all this is possible only in the human birth. No other birth you can do all these things, isn't it? So since we have got a human birth, which is a very rare event, as I told in the first class, very rare event in this entire cosmos, we should use this human birth for the purpose for which it has been given to us. So these gunas, which can be developed, which can be acquired, it should be acquired in this form. And when you are having, this Sattva Guna Pradhana, you can see those people, they sleep very little. Tamo Guna is very, very small in their life. Even when they reach like this sadhu, sannyasis, mahatmas and all, even the action which they indulge in is also very little. Rajoguna also is subdued. Only Sattva Guna is there for them. That is why when we see a Mahatma, we say Namaskara. We pay respect, isn't it? So this is the progress in our life we must aim at, and that should be the goal. And as we talked about the Purusharthas, right from Brahmacharyam, you must start developing this Sattva Guna. That is the scheme of the entire Vedas. How they are taking us, how they are guiding us. So, a person can actually move from one guna to another. There is no such restriction in the Shastra. I mean, for example, we have got the story of Hiranyakashipu, who was a Rakshasa, isn't it? He can become the most reverential person in our life. Hiranyakashipu. Because Prahlada was born to him. Prahlada can become a reverential person in our life because he is Sattva Guna. Always he was born, and he is the one who actually revealed the Ishwara's nature to Hiranyakashipu, his own father. So one need not a Sattva Guna Pradhana person or a Brahmana can be born to it, Shudra also. So that movement cannot be, it's not necessary that if you are born in a family, you stick to that family. We have got in Tamil literature a lot of, stories and all. The Nandana Charitram story is there. He was a Shudra, I mean, unskilled labor. But then because of his devotion and things like that, he became a Brahmana. Brahmana in the sense, Guna Brahmana. So we have a lot of stories and all that. So this is the, what I can say, the possibility of moving from one classification to another classification. So they are not watertight compartments. One can develop different gunas, I mean the appropriate gunas, and then progress in life. Even though we are born Shudra, we can end up as Sattva Guna Pradhana people also. As a Guna Brahmana, we can do that. So there is a choice, so far as the Guna Brahmanatvam is concerned. Next is the choice with relating to, or in fact, I will just go take a step back. What I was telling was earlier the movement, right? Now we come to the choice. So in choice, Jati Brahmana, there is no choice. We are born to a set of parents, we have no choice. And as I told you, Jati Brahmana is not very relevant also from a Shastric point of view. We need not consider that as a very important thing also. But having said that, if you are born in a Brahmin family, which is a Vaidika family, which are by and large following all the Vedic customs and all, you have an opportunity to develop the Sattva Guna or Guna Brahmanatvam in a more conducive environment. So that is the opportunity you get. Otherwise, there is no choice so far as the Jati Brahmana is concerned. We are born, it is determined. There is a choice, of course. We do not have a choice with regard to our present birth, but we have a choice with regard to our next birth. That scriptures say is available to you from a Jati point of view. Depending upon your karmas that you do in this birth, your next birth will be determined. So that is all there in the scripture. So even though there is no choice for this birth, we have a choice so far as our future births are concerned. If we choose the right kind of actions, dharmic actions and all, we earn a lot of punya and all, right? Then as regards karma vibhaga, which is the occupation-based division, we do have a choice. We can choose the occupation, which is what we all are doing now. We can choose the occupation that we want. Any profession we can choose. I can choose a profession based upon my character, my swabhava, isn't it? Or I can choose a profession based upon my hereditary, which is my father's profession, I can choose. Or I can choose a profession based upon money, earning. So these three choices are there, right? What the Shastra says is that the best choice you should make is the character-based or your nature-based occupation. Because that will give you a lot of satisfaction and happiness. As I told you, you won't have this Monday blues. Oh my God, nice weekend I had. On Monday morning I had to go to the office and face that, moronic boss in the office. That tension, anxiety will not be there. If you choose a profession which is of your choice, which is suitable to your nature. Then the Shastra says the next best choice is hereditary based. Because your father has done a certain occupation, and which was all there, present in our society some time back. Father's occupation, son also takes up. The advantage in say hereditary based occupation is that the child will get trained in that occupation right from the childhood. He will observe the father doing or parents doing that, and he will learn the skills for doing that particular profession. So this is the second base, hereditary based. Shastra says if you can't get a profession of your choice which is suitable to your nature, then go for a hereditary based. If that is also not possible, money based. What gives you money? And Shastra says that is the worst choice you can make. And because most of us today are making the choice based only on money, all these problems we are facing in life. So Shastra says that is the most inferior choice that you can make, money based. Otherwise, you must know this. This is the gradation. First is go for your nature based. In fact, I remember a scene from that, I don't know how many of you have seen the Three Idiots movie. There, one of the aspects was emphasized was you must allow the child to choose a profession which the child nature is conducive to the child's nature. You must not force a child to do something which you want to do. Many parents commit this mistake. They had certain dreams in their life when they were young, but those dreams they could not fulfill. What they do, they try to fulfill those dreams through their children, and they force the children to do things which the children don't want to do. Of course, those things are also changing these days. Children also, they say, "I will do what I want. Your dreams, you keep it to yourself." So this is the way the Shastra treats this choice of these professions, right? And I mean, there are so many examples that I can give you regarding this hereditary profession, and because what happens is when you are sticking to a hereditary profession, there is no competition. Because father, son, they will all be doing the same profession, and every family who is involved in that particular profession will be following. Somebody from outside will not be coming and entering and competing with these people. And they have a very good group. In fact, normally they all belong to one or two select families only. Goldsmiths and all. We see all those things even today being practiced in the society. Right. So this is the so far as the karma is concerned. So when we are talking about the choices, as far as guna is concerned, we have a choice. And all the spiritual sadhanas which are prescribed are all meant to improve our guna or become a guna brahmana. That is the aim of all the sadhanas which are prescribed in the scriptures. Right? We must all aim to become a guna brahmana ultimately. And whatever be our profession, we must develop the character. Our own gunas we must develop. That is the most important message which is coming from the scriptures, right? So there is a choice so far as that is concerned. There is a choice so far as karma is also concerned. Only choice that we do not have is the choice of birth, this particular birth. We don't have a choice. But guna and karma choices are there, so we can exercise those choices judicially. And while progressing in our life from one stage to another stage, we can also have a very happy and a materialistically satisfying life, not a greedy life, materialistically satisfying life. We can earn as much as we need for our need and children's need and all. Hoarding is what Shastra frowns upon. That's what it is. And so far as the gradation is also concerned, there is no gradation in jati, in the birth. There is no gradation so far as karma is concerned. No karma, no profession is superior or inferior to any other profession. But there is a superiority or inferiority which Shastra recognizes so far as the guna is concerned. So whatever stage we are in, we must try to improve, become more and more superior so far as our nature is concerned. And this is the varna system which has been prescribed, and these are the teachings of the Shastras. So next we have to see the ashrama system, which is brahmacharya, then grihastha, then Vanaprastha and Sannyasa ashrams, which I think we don't have time now. We will take it in the next class, and probably it will take just one class and we will finish it in the next class. After that, we will move to the Tattva Bodha text. Some new people who have joined, I will send you the PDF copy of the text again to everybody, so that you can be ready with the text before we start the Tattva Bodha text. Okay, I'll say the prayers and then we will have a small satsang if anybody has got any questions. Om Purnamadav
Purnamidam Purnamudachyate
Purnasya
Purnasya
Purnamadaya Purnamedavachyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Harihi Om. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Namaskaram.
Can't hear.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, 1 second. There is something happening in my laptop. Yeah, tell me.
In defining dharma, you had said there are two types. One is Samanya Dharma, and what was the other? I missed out.
Samanya Dharma and Vishesha Dharma.
Vishesha Dharma. So, Samanya Dharma is for general, and Vishesha Dharma is for specific class of
Specific group of people, specific persons who are in certain positions in the society.
Okay. Okay.
These are the two.
Thank you.
The Dharma is a very, very, I wouldn't call it complicated, but it's a very intrinsic kind of aspect. We can't deal with Dharma very casually. You must understand Dharma very, very subtly. There are Dharma Rahasyams, which I think I will talk about in my Vishnu Sahasranamam class, because Adi Shankara in his Bhashyam refers to Dharma Rahasyam. So I will explain what is this Dharma Rahasyam is. That's not the subject matter of this class. Dharma is a very...
Dhanyavadaha,
Any more
Raghuji.
questions?
Is Samanya Dharma is the universal values, right?
It's
That's what
universal
English.
value to be practiced by everybody.
But either you are in any part of the universe, you got like Satyam, Ahimsa, those things.
No, basically, there are about niyama. What we in Yoga Shastra we call this yama niyama.
Yama.
Is all that very briefly stated Samanya Dharmas. Of course, there are other Samanya Dharmas also, but for a sample you can take the yama niyama of Yoga Shastra, Samanya, and that is all there in the Shastras everywhere. They are all found. Samanya Dharma. Vishesha Dharmas are also found. People don't understand all this. That's why they say, why Modi is doing this. It is his Dharma. He is doing certain things. We will try to compare ourselves with the ruler who is the prime minister or a king, and then ask why that fellow is doing that. Irrelevant question. He has a certain dharma which he is actually has to follow while governing the country. That is not applicable to us. No, we should. In fact, most of this problem that we are having today because of the social media and all, wasting our time in all these irrelevant things. That is what we are doing. Nothing.
Namaskaram, Raghuji.
Anyhow.
Hari Om.
Any other question?
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
The Shruti, Vedas are called Shruti. From there, Smriti came, which includes Bhagavad Gita.
No, Bhagavad Gita is Smriti.
Smriti, correct. And it was given by Bhagavan Krishna. Now, the question is, the Varnas have been mentioned in any of the Vedas, or it was mentioned by Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita?
What do you think Bhagavad Gita is? When I explained what Smritis are, they are containing what is contained in the Vedas, in the Shrutis, but remembered wisdom of the rishis they have put down in Smriti Granthas.
Correct.
So if it is not there in the Vedas, it would not find a place in Bhagavad Gita.
Correct.
Isn't
So
it?
my question is, where the Varnas come in Vedas?
You
Which Veda is
must read the whole of Karma Kanda for that.
Yeah.
You should study. All that is all covered in Karma Kanda, in the Purva Bhaga of the Vedas.
Because
Everything is
Krishna
there.
says, I have only created these Varnas.
Video in this.
It was there before
The
or
camera.
it was only after.
See, who is the
Camera.
creator?
I'm not able to switch on the
In
camera
Bhagavad
like
Gita,
this.
you must understand Lord Krishna speaks to Arjuna in three capacities. The one capacity he speaks as Ishvara, Jagat Karanam, Brahman. Another capacity he speaks to Arjuna as Saguna Brahman. That is Brahman with gunas rather. Brahman with Maya, Saguna Brahman. Which is what he shows that, Vishwarupa Darshanam and all is Saguna Brahma Rupa of Ishvara. Then he speaks to Arjuna as his friend, the king of, as a Yadava king. So we must, when we study Bhagavad Gita, we must understand every dialogue spoken or every sloka spoken by Bhagavan Uvacha when it says, Bhagavan in what capacity Uvacha, we must understand. So when Krishna says that Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam, we must understand him as a Saguna Brahman, who is the creator of this world, Jagat Karanam, is the creator. Because Brahman by itself cannot do anything, it cannot create anything unless Maya is there. So Brahman with Maya as a Saguna Brahman, Maya Srishtam has given Vedas this four Varnas to the world. This is how we have to understand. If it is not the case, it will not, Veda Vyasa would not have written that in Bhagavad Gita.
My question was, it was before Krishna's avatara or it came only, Varnas came only
What do
after?
you understand by Krishna? When Krishna says, Maya Srishtam, what do you understand? What capacity Krishna is speaking?
Excuse me. In Bhagavad Gita, in the 4th chapter, again, Krishna says that whatever he is teaching Arjuna now, he has already taught long back to Vivaswan.
Yeah, to Surya Bhagavan. Exactly. That is another example. I mean, if we come to Bhagavad Gita, I can quote a lot of examples. So we must understand that when Krishna is speaking, Arjuna says, you are born only now. How you can teach Surya Bhagavan? Right in the beginning of 4th chapter, this dialogue discussion comes. So Bhagavan says, Krishna says that you know only about this birth. But I remember all my existence. I have been always there. Even before the sun came, I was there. So I was the one who gave these Vedas, taught these Vedas to the sun. So these are all lot of things are there to be understood. And we must understand it in the right perspective. So
Thank you, Swamiji.
Sorry?
Good night, Swami. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good night, Swami.
Good night. Any more questions?
Thank you.
Swamiji, pranam.
Thank you, Guruji.
Nothing. We can all go for our dinner. Namaste.
Thank you,
Okay.
Guruji.
Hari Om. We will meet in the
Hari Om.
next Saturday.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.